put out a video a while ago on what does the Bible really say about homosexuality. And with that video that I put out, my thesis was it doesn't fucking matter. Some people would say, I'm going to hell. And some people would say, I don't know the Bible. And some people would say they agreed with me. One thing though, everybody wanted to talk. One of my favorite thinkers on biblical things happens to be Thomas Paine. And in Thomas Paine's book, The Age of Reason, he says that he felt bad. He felt bad when he criticized the Bible because people came back to him and said that he didn't have a Bible in his hand. And he said he felt bad because, in Paine's words, now that I've looked at the Bible, I have to say I was wrong. I was too generous with what I said. So, I've looked at the Bible. I am not a theology expert. I'm not a Christian. But I am an expert in politics, law, and philosophy. And I have to say, as someone with an expertise in all of these ventures, that we live in a secular state. While we have cultural impulses that are markedly Christian, even in our metaphors, the 11th hour, our expectations of justice at the end of the day, we have some overtures to Christian theology, Christian theology. But we live in a secular state, and I'm grateful to live in a secular state. The reason for a secular state is to prevent the rest of you who were criticizing me for not being a Bible expert, while not being a Bible expert yourself, from imposing your religious viewpoints on the rest of us. If only you would have been born into a different family or at a different time, you would see what you're saying is absolutely silly and heretical, but you'd probably be equally more vicious and equally more certain about another silly little idea. So, I'm going to expand on what I had said. It's not merely that it doesn't matter what the Bible says about homosexuality. It doesn't really matter what the Bible says about anything else, especially if you're not a Christian. And if you are a Christian, perhaps what the Bible says really does matter, because there's a lot in that book that tells people to treat other people poorly. There's a lot in that book that bridles you with superstition. There's a lot in that book that causes expectations of false dichotomies and expectations of entitlements that don't exist. So, to those who have criticized me over my thesis that homosexuality and the Bible, what's said in that book, doesn't fucking matter. You know what? When you criticized me on it, to quote Thomas Paine, you were right. I was completely wrong. But I was wrong in how generous I was. Well, let's look at the whole book. It doesn't fucking matter.